Hello, dear students. Unit 1, Gifts of Youth, Vocabulary. So, by the end of this lesson, you will be able to use the vocabulary related to gifts of youth in appropriate contexts. So, before we start, let's get introduced to the main 3 stages of life. We can start with childhood, the period in which you are a child. Youth, the stage in which you are a young person. And adulthood, the period of life in which you become an adult. Of course, in this lesson, we are not interested in childhood or adulthood, but we are interested in youth, the period between childhood and adulthood. It's the life stage which is just before adulthood. So let's get introduced to some young people. For example, we can talk about chef. Chef is a skilled cook, especially in a restaurant or a hotel. You can think of the Moroccan program Master Chef, in which Moroccan young cooks show their skills, their talents. Another example of young people is that of a painter. A painter is simply a person who paints pictures. We can say a painter is an artist. Here you can think again of the famous Spanish painter Pablo Picasso. The third example of young people we can talk about here is that of street musician. Street musician, or we can call him or her street performer. So street performance is the activity of performing music in public for gratuities. Gratuity is a sum of money given to somebody in return to what they provided. So we can say that a gratuity is simply a tip. The fourth example we can raise here about young people is that of freestyle footballer or freestyle football player. So freestyle football is simply a sport or an activity in which the freestyle footballer performs football skills such as keeping a ball up in the air or above the head for a long time. The last example we can talk about here, I'm not sure if you are familiar with this Moroccan person. This is, Sharaf Sejani, you remember him? This person appeared in stand-up TV program last year, together with his puppet, Dewichi. So Sharaf Sejani is a ventriloquist. A ventriloquist is simply a person who entertains people by speaking without using his or her lips, making it seem or look as if a puppet is speaking or another person is speaking. So what is the common characteristic between these examples? The common characteristic is that these have certain special gifts, talents. So simply, these people are talented people, gifted young people. This period of youth is often characterized by certain qualities, certain characteristics, such as adventure of course, this is, yes, an event or an excitement, yes, event in which the young person shows certain dangerous things. Another example of this period is that the young are characterized by courage. Courage simply is the ability or the quality to be or to act in a courageous or brave way. Of course, courage is the ability to control fear. Courage is synonymous to bravery and opposite to cowardice. Another characteristic this period of life, youth, is characterized by is imagination. Imagination refers to the quality or the ability to imagine or form ideas in your mind. One more characteristic of this youth is ambition. Ambition is the desire or the determination to achieve something in life, to be successful, to be rich. All right? Another characteristic of the young is that of enthusiasm. So the young are often enthusiastic. They show certain excitement in doing a lot of things, in being involved in certain things. Okay, to wrap up, we can talk about qualities of youth, including talent, imagination, enthusiasm, ambition, creativity, courage, flexibility, energy, to name but a few, which means there are many other characteristics that the young are characterized by. So please take these students 3 minutes to supply the adjectives for the nouns courage, talent, imagination, energy, ambition, flexibility, and creativity. All right, let's correct. So the adjective of the noun courage is courageous. Of talent is talented. The adjective of imagination is imaginative. That of energy is energetic. Of ambition, ambitious. Of flexibility, flexible. Of creativity, creative. Moving to certain definitions of certain words that are keywords in the theme of gifts of youth, I give you again 3 minutes to match the words with their definitions. Fine, let's correct. So, energy is simply the physical and mental strength that makes you, or young people in general, able to do things. Flexibility refers to the ability to change to a different situation, to be flexible, to adapt to certain changes or situations in life. Creativity can be defined as the ability to use your imagination to produce new ideas as seen before. Empowerment is giving someone, and here we are always talking about young people, more control over his or her own life. Courage is simply the ability to control fear. And we talked about courage as synonymous to bravery, moving to collocations, I'm sure that you still remember what do we mean by collocations. Collocations simply mean words, 2 or more words that go together, that appear together. such as these. So please take 3 minutes to match the numbers with the letters to form collocations related to gifts of youth. Fine. Now, the first collocation we can talk about, we can say talented people, right? We saw 5 examples of talented people, like cooks, like musicians, like freestyle footballers, etc. So these people are really talented. They have certain talents, certain skills. Maximum flexibility, for sure. The young are known for their flexibility. They are flexible, maximum, to different situations, which means that they can adapt easily to any situation. Generation gap. This is, of course, a phenomenon that takes place when the old, when there is a gap between the old and the young. We often hear the young saying that the old don't understand us. Full of energy, of course, we have seen this. We said that the young are energetic, which means that they are full of energy. Youth empowerment, this is also an extraordinary collocation showing that young people should be powerful, should be empowered by the government, by teachers, by parents, by all stakeholders. Passionate interest, this is also an interesting collocation in the theme, showing that if you have certain passion about something, this means that you like that thing very much. You are passionate. We can talk about different examples. For example, to have a passionate interest in cooking, for example. Right. Now, in this activity, we have the same collocations seen before, but please, we want now to put them in their appropriate places. Take again 4 minutes to do this activity. All right. So activity 1 or sentence 1, we have youth empowerment. Empowerment is the country's biggest challenge. That's right. So the country's biggest challenge here, we talk about maybe the government, the country in general. Now, it's a very challenging thing to empower youth. Why youth? Because youth or young people are the citizens of tomorrow. That's why we have to empower them. 2, we are looking for talented people to join our company. Of course, for any company to succeed, must recruit talented people. 3, working in groups require maximum flexibility. That's right. If you want to work in groups, you have to be flexible enough. You have to listen to the others, even if when the others' opinions are totally different from yours. 4, Andrew, like most young people, has shown a passionate interest in music. We talked about that passion. That passion, the example we saw is cooking, together with other examples. But here we have passionate interest in music, and this is a characteristic of the young as opposed to most old people. 5, the young are usually fearless. What do we mean by fearless? Fearless means not afraid. We talked about this characteristic, and we call it courage or bravery. So fearless means not afraid, courageous enough. So fearless and full of energy. So this collocation here goes with this characteristic of young people. All right, now here, please put the words between brackets in the correct form. 5 minutes to do this activity. All right, to do this exercise, we need to have a good knowledge of the structure of English. Of course, the root order of English is subject, verb, object. But we need to know also what we call word category. What do we mean by word category? Word category, we'll talk about nouns, adjectives, verbs, and adverbs. So 4 word categories. In order to do this interesting activity, of course, here we talk about affixation, prefixes and suffixes. So to do this, we should have certain knowledge about this. Now let's study sentence 1. James' vivid imaginative often gave him bad dreams. Now, often gave, this is the verb. Often is an adverb of frequency, but gave is the verb, which means that what comes before is the subject, but what comes after is the object. So let's concentrate on the subject. So here we have James' vivid. What is vivid? Vivid is an adjective. So it must be followed by a noun. So what is the noun of imaginative? Oh, imagination. Now do you see now that if you have certain knowledge about word category, about the structure of English, it's very easy to get to the right word. 2, in order to respect the others' different opinions, the young need to learn about tolerant. Right. Now let's have a look at the first part of the sentence. In order to respect the others' different opinions. All this sentence here is just an adverbial. So the sentence comes after the young. So this is the subject. Need to learn about. This is the verb. So what comes after here is, yes, must be a noun because it's in the place of the object. So what is the noun of tolerant? Tolerance. 3. Some youths are mature as they don't take social media platforms seriously. What do we mean by social media platforms? Simply Facebook, Twitter, etc., etc. Now here, let's come back to the sentence and say some youths are mature. So some youths is the subject, are is the verb. Automatically that verb should be followed by an adjective. But mature is an adjective. There's a problem there. No. Now we have 2 adjectives. They are opposite to each other. Mature and immature. So which one is correct here? Now let's read the sentence again and see what is going on there. Some youths are mature as. What do you mean by as? Because. Because they don't take social media platforms seriously. So those who don't take social media platforms seriously must be immature. If they are mature, they should take them seriously. But here, please, we are not talking about all young people. We are talking about some young people. Some youths who are immature. Why immature? Because they don't take social media platforms seriously. The 4th sentence, you can see that we have the first word, it's between brackets, creative, is an important skill that the young should work on. So is the verb. Now what comes before the verb must be a subject, and this most of the time should be a noun, and the noun of creative here is creativity. The last example we have in this exercise, youngsters or young people should exercise to keep fit and power. Right. Now we have youngsters, the subject, should exercise to keep, that's the verb. But we have at the end of the sentence, we have fit and something else. What is fit? Fit is an adjective. But you remember, if we want to do this exercise, we have to have a good knowledge about word category. So we have fit as an adjective and we have and. But what is and? And is a connector. So this connector, this coordinator must connect 2 words that are of the same word category. Adjective, adjective. If I have an adjective before and, I must have an adjective after and. If I have a verb before and, I must have a verb after and so on and so forth. So here we know what is the nature of the word we need here. Fit is an adjective, so what comes it after and must be also an adjective. So it's clear now, it is powerful. Yes, you are right. All right. Now, moving to a very interesting activity in which we talk about three things here. We talk about what young people have, what young people suffer from, and what young people need. So please, once more, take 5 minutes to tell me what can we put exactly: illiteracy, justice, optimism, addiction, injustice, respect, energy, and so on and so forth. Fine, it's correct now. So we can say young people have optimism, right? Talked about this. We say that young people are optimistic. Young people have energy. Yes, we said that they are energetic enough to do a lot of things as opposed to old people. Yes, young people have passion. We talked about passion in cooking, passion in music, passion in a lot of things that are, of course, that old people don't feel like doing. Young people also have enthusiasm, enthusiastic. They are excited to do a lot of things. But young people suffer from illiteracy. And here, I don't talk about all young people. No, some young people are illiterate. Of course, you know what is illiteracy? Illiteracy, the point when the person doesn't know how to read and write. So when you don't know how to read and write, that's illiteracy, and we can call you an illiterate person. But here, we don't mean all young people. Some young people are illiterate, so suffer from illiteracy. Some young people also suffer from addiction. Of course, they are addicted to alcohol, addicted to smoking, addicted to computer games, and so on and so forth. But again, some young people, that's all. Some young people suffer from injustice, suffer from oppression. Talked about oppression. Oppression is the fact of being treated unfairly or cruelly. Suffer from marginalization. That's right. So a lot of young people feel being marginalized. Some young people suffer from unemployment, right? They are unemployed. They are jobless. They don't find a job. And this leads us to the phenomenon brain drain. When young people don't find a job, of course, they think of going abroad, going to Spain, Canada, America, wherever they can find a place, a good job. They can find, job opportunities. Young people need justice. They also need respect. They need to be respected by parents, teachers, etc. They need recognition. They need to be recognized. Yes, what they are doing should receive certain respect. Awareness. They need awareness to be aware of. They need communication to be communicated to. Education for those who are illiterate. Affection, love, and the jobs for those who are unemployed or jobless. All right. So moving to the last activity in this lesson, please I'll let you do this exercise, but feel free to complete these sentences with whatever comes to your mind, of course in relation to the theme of gifts of youth. 5 minutes, please. All right? So education is important for the young because, just a suggestion, you can say, because it is the foundation of a nation. What do you mean by a foundation? Foundation is simply a basis on which everything is based. So education is the most important thing, as of course it helps particularly the young, to be successful in life. 2, the government should take care of its youth, young people. Why? Because they are the lifeblood of the country. What do you mean by lifeblood? Lifeblood is the most important thing needed to develop successfully, to reach something in life. Parents also should support their young kids so as to be self-confident. Kids or the young in general need to be confident, need to feel confidence in themselves, and parents should play this role. Again, teachers need to encourage their students to do what? A suggestion, to take risks and express themselves the way they like. What do you mean by take risks? Take risks, which means that they just express themselves. Even if when they are not sure 100% of the answer, they should talk. It's better than keeping quiet in the classroom. Here, I want here to comment on something. If we look at sentence 2, 3, and 4, we can talk about the government and parents and teachers as stakeholders which should play an important role in the empowerment of the young. The last example, sentence, the disabled, I mean here the handicapped people. The disabled youth should find a way to be integrated in society. To be integrated, why integrated? So as not to be marginalized, left on the margin. And here again, it's the job of all those stakeholders we talked about before, the government, parents, teachers, etc., etc. So this group of people, the disabled, the handicapped people, should find a way, of course, with the help of all stakeholders. Thank you.